Hey guys, somebody emailed me this riddle. I think it's a fun one. Let's talk about it. A guy's driving home and he hits the 60-mile marker. He interprets it as the speed limit, so for the next mile, he drives 60 miles an hour. And then when he hits the 59-mile marker, he thinks that's the speed limit, so for the next mile, he'll drive 59 miles per hour. And then at the 58-mile marker, he then starts driving 58 miles per hour. And this continues his whole way home. When he hits the 3-mile marker, he travels 3 miles per hour. And then he goes to 2 miles per hour, and then for the last mile home, he goes 1 mile per hour. And yes, he does live at the 0-mile marker. So the question is, how long will it take him to drive these 60 miles home? So first, to find the total time, we have to add up all 60 of these intervals. So we know the distance for each of them and we know the rate for each of them, but we don't know the time. Luckily, we can use the formula distance equals rate times time. And if we divide both sides by rate, we get time is equal to distance over rate. So instead of time sub 60, we can rewrite this as distance sub 60 over rate sub 60. And we can rewrite all of these times as distance over rate. Now the distance for this first interval was 1 mile, so let's plug in 1 right there. In fact, the distance of all of these intervals will be equal to 1. And then for the rate, it actually corresponds with the subscript. This r sub 60, the rate was 60. And for all of these, the rate will correspond with the subscript. So now we just need to add up 1 over 60 plus 1 over 59 plus 1 over 58 all the way down to 1 over 1. That would take quite a bit of time to plug into a calculator. We can also write this in sigma notation. We can express this as 1 over n, where the n varies from 1 all the way to 60. So this is the way to express this sum in sigma notation. I don't know how to do this by hand, but I do know how to use Google Sheets, so let's do that. So right now I'm in a fresh Google Sheet. So we give this a label of rate, and let's give this one a label of time. For the first interval, we know the rate was equal to 60. And then for the next one, it was 1 slower than 60, so we can say equals this minus 1, and it gives us 59. And now as we drag this down, it's going to keep giving us 1 lower. So we're going to go all the way down until we get to 1. So we can drag it, and we're going to stop around 61. And that gives us 1 right there. So this is the rates that we have for all of these. And then for time, we know that time is going to be equal to the distance of 1 divided by this rate. And then we can hit enter. And it asks us to autofill. We're going to say yes, please. These are all the fractions. This is the 1 over 60. This is the 1 over 59. This is the 1 over 58, and so on. So now to find out the total time, we hit equals sum. And we're just going to add all of these up. And we do not want the autofill this time. And that's the answer right there. It's going to take about 4.68 hours. So that was the way to manually add them all up. If you want to see the sigma notation shortcut, I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to use a couple different functions. We'll do array formula of the sum of 1 over the sequence of 1, 60, 1, 1. And this function will give us the total time. So if we hit enter, it's also 4.68. And there's the formula again right there. So the total time ended up being about 4.68 hours. And that's approximately 4 hours and 41 minutes. And this is the answer to our question. Let's put a box around it. How exciting. And if anybody knows a way to do this by hand without technology, let me know.